Hello everyone. Welcome to CellBlock Chronicles. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share our content. The day had finally come. The day that he had been dreading for months. The day that he would be transferred to the maximum security prison, where the most violent and dangerous criminals were kept. He had been convicted of killing a little kid. He had no friends, no family, no hope. He was alone in a world of darkness and pain. No one wanted to associate themselves with such a man. He would soon find out not even his fellow prisoners tolerated such men. He was escorted by 2 guards to a bus that would take him to the prison. He saw the other inmates, some of them with scars, tattoos, and missing teeth. They looked at him with contempt, hatred, or indifference. He felt a chill run down his spine. He knew he was in for a hell of a time. He got on the bus and sat on a seat near the window. He tried to ignore the stares and whispers of the other inmates. He tried to calm himself down, to think of something else, but he couldn't. He could only think of the horror stories he had heard about the prison. The beatings, the rapes, the murders, the gangs, the drugs, the corruption, the isolation, the torture, the madness. He wondered if he would survive his first day, let alone his sentence. He felt the bus moving. He looked out the window and saw the city fading away. He saw the countryside, the fields, the trees. He saw the sun setting, casting a red glow over the sky. He wished he could be free, to enjoy the beauty of nature, to breathe the fresh air. But he knew he would never see the outside world again. He was doomed to spend the rest of his life behind bars, in a place worse than hell. He wasn't a religious man, but he closed his eyes and prayed. He prayed for a miracle, for a way to escape. He prayed for mercy, for forgiveness, for peace. He prayed for death, for an end to his suffering, for a release from his nightmare. But he knew his prayers would not be answered. He knew he was forsaken by God, by justice, by humanity. He knew he was alone. He opened his eyes and saw the prison. It was a huge, gray, concrete building, surrounded by barbed wire, guard towers, and searchlights. It looked like a fortress, a dungeon, a tomb. He felt a surge of fear, of despair, of dread. He knew he had reached the point of no return. He knew he had entered hell. He got off the bus and was greeted by a group of guards. They shouted at him, pushed him, searched him. They took his belongings, his clothes, his dignity. They gave him a number, a jumpsuit, a cell. They treated him like an animal, a thing, a nothing. They showed him no respect, no compassion, no humanity. They showed him who was in charge, who had the power, who made the rules. He was taken to his cell. It was a small, dirty, dark room, with a metal bed, a toilet, a sink. It smelled of urine, sweat, blood. It had no window, no light, no air. It had no life, no warmth, no comfort. It was a cage, a coffin, a grave. He felt a wave of claustrophobia, of depression, of hopelessness. He knew he had lost everything. He knew he had nothing left. He heard the door slam shut. He heard the lock click. He heard the guard say, "Welcome to hell, punk, enjoy your stay." He heard the laughter, the mockery, the cruelty. He heard the footsteps fade away. He heard the silence, the emptiness, the loneliness. He heard his own heartbeat, his own breathing, his own crying. He heard his own voice, his own thoughts, his own screams. He lay down on the bed and curled up into a ball. He closed his eyes and wished he could sleep. He wished he could dream. He wished he could forget. But he couldn't. He could only remember. He remembered his life, his family, his friends. He remembered his love, his happiness, his freedom. He remembered his trial, his verdict, his sentence. He remembered his fear, his anger, his despair. He remembered everything. He opened his eyes and saw the darkness. He saw the shadows, the shapes, the monsters. He saw the nightmares, the visions, the horrors. He saw the face, the eyes, the mouth of his victim. He saw the demons, the ghosts, the dead. He saw them all. He felt a touch on his shoulder. He felt a breath on his neck. He felt a whisper in his ear. He felt a pain in his chest. He felt a knife in his heart. He felt them all. Someone was in his cell, maybe 2 inmates, maybe 3, maybe a whole gang. Someone held him down. Someone whispered the name of his victim in his ear and drove a knife to his heart. He screamed. He screamed as loud as he could. He screamed for help, for mercy, for salvation. He screamed until his throat was raw, until his lungs were empty, until his voice was gone. He saw a guard look into his cell, and then he walked away. He screamed until he was silent. He died. He died on his first day in prison. He died alone, in pain, in fear. He died without a name, without a purpose. He died without a trace, without a mark, without a legacy. He died without a soul, without a spirit, without hope. He died without a life. Thank you for watching. Check out our channel for more CellBlock tales.